With Bayut, find your next home. Browse from over 200,000 listings for rent and sale in the UAE. Download the app or visit Bayut.com.
Right, we have not one, not two, but three reports from the good people at Dubizzle and Bayut this morning. And we're looking a little bit beyond where we normally do, outside of Dubai, outside of Abu Dhabi, straight to the Northern Emirates, and not just the one we're always talking about. Very pleased to be joined by Fibha Ahmed, who's Vice President of Sales at Dubizzle and Bayut. Hey, Fibha.
Hey, good morning.
So, the Northern Emirates, but not just one. How strong has the growth been in the Northern Emirates in the last year?
It's interesting that, we always talk about Dubai and sometimes we talk about Abu Dhabi. Let's look at Northern Emirates. Northern Emirates has seen pretty much similar trends in terms of interest in real estate, which is of no surprise because UAE has been on an upward trajectory when it comes to promoting real estate and having policies and procedures in place to promote the interest globally as well as locally. We've seen rising prices, but they're coupled with rise in demand both for sale and rental market. And one trend that stood out for me while I was looking through the reports, and yes, there are a lot of numbers, so I would strongly recommend you go to the blog, my Bayut blog, and read through them, is the contribution of the off-plan sector, even in these three Emirates.
Who's building in these three Emirates? Is it the local companies? REC Properties, of course, has got its massive master plan for Ras Al Khaimah. Or are we seeing expansion from some of the big names in Dubai and Abu Dhabi?
So in Sharjah, if you look at Sharjah, for example, we have Arada that develops quite a lot in that area. These Emirates, they have their localized developers that focus heavily in that market, and that goes without saying that some of them are venturing into Dubai. Arada has launched a few projects in Dubai. So they do have their own local community of developers. As you mentioned, REC Properties in Ras Al Khaimah. In Sharjah, we have Arada. We have Zora City in Ajman. So they all have their own niche developers where they're bringing more and more offerings to the market. One exception to that is Ras Al Khaimah, where the trend that we've seen is a lot of branded residences, a lot of hospitality, venturing into providing super luxury, or let's say affordable luxury segment to the Ras Al Khaimah market. So there is a blend of local developers focusing in these areas, as well as then your branded and well-known names going more into the Ras Al Khaimah market.
Okay, why are we seeing, let's start with buying first. Why are we seeing the increase in buying in the Northern Emirates? Outside of Ras Al Khaimah and people speculating as to changes in hospitality there, why are we seeing more activity in Ajman and Sharjah?
So for Sharjah, Sharjah in around 2014 launched the freehold ownership in some of the pockets of the areas. Sharjah was always more of a leasehold, GCC national area. I think since 2014, there has been tremendous interest in terms of building family-focused communities. And of course, with the prices rising high in Dubai for sale and for rent, people are getting pushed out to Sharjah. That has pushed prices up both for sale and rent. On an average, we've seen price per square foot in Sharjah going up by 60%. And that is, of course, in contribution to more and more off-plan coming to the market as well, with villa communities and apartment buildings. And when you look at Ajman, probably spillover of Sharjah into Ajman. And then, of course, Ras Al Khaimah has its own attraction, which is becoming more of a holiday area or a second home, more of a luxury living for all these people.
You guys get to see what we're trying to do as well as what we do, right? So you get to see what we're searching for and what we're trying to buy. What are you seeing in the volume of listings in the Northern Emirates?
So the supply, interestingly, is heavily focused when we talk about sale into the off-plan segment. If you go to Bayut today, for Sharjah, you would see about 57 to 60% offerings are in the off-plan segment. Now, not to confuse it with something that's going to come out to the market 2-3 years into it. There are a lot of handovers that are expected in 2025, into 2026. In Ras Al Khaimah, about 80%, I would say, listings are for off-plan, with Ajman having the most percentage of ready or available properties listed for buying. So it's a healthy combination of what's existing in the market, but more focus on what's going to come in the market in the future. Yes.
What about people looking to live there now? What kind of increase are you seeing in searches to rent?
So we've seen about 30 to 40% increase in rental searches on our platform for these three communities, with Ras Al Khaimah seeing the highest percentage increase in searches, about 41%. Then we've seen a very keen interest in Sharjah as well. We've seen about 30% more people looking to rent in Sharjah, and then at roughly about 40% in Ajman as well. When you look at the rental prices, highest increase has been noticed in Sharjah with about 27% increase in average listed rental price. We have, with a mix of apartments and villas, rents averaging about 85K for Sharjah. We have 45K for Ajman and roughly about 59 to 60K for Ras Al Khaimah. So yes, when you're looking for affordability, you would pivot to Ajman. If you're looking for a family-friendly, focused area, which is closer to Dubai, you have Sharjah. And if you're looking for a nice little getaway, you move to Rak.
What does the supply look like? As you say, a lot of that stuff is off plan that's listed at the moment.
Correct.
Are prices going up because of increased demand, because people can't find what they need, more competition?
I would say so for Sharjah. Clearly, that can be said that people are getting priced out of Dubai and they're looking and exploring other options. So due to its proximity to Dubai, Sharjah real estate market, and with a lot of inventory coming to market this year and early next year, is a great focus where you can kind of jump on to the real estate frenzy that's happening there. Whereas when you look at Rak, I think it has more to do with the lifestyle living and the concept living, that you're next to the waterfront. Yes, we all like to see a sea view from our apartment window. So Rak is probably capitalizing on that, also with the casino coming up. And Ajman is more on the affordability segment, where we're seeing price increases and interest from people.
We were wondering this morning, and we've got about 30 seconds left with you, is Ajman the hidden gem? Low prices and maybe better yields for investors?
100%. I would say certain pockets in Ajman and Ras Al Khaimah can give you ROI up to 11%, 12%, which is pretty high when you compare it to averaging of 6 to 7% in Dubai and Sharjah. So yeah, if you are a savvy investor, you can certainly look into buying something in Ajman. Not to forget that Ajman is also venturing into beachfront living and golf view villas. So I think there's a lot to come in that area. Since Sharjah is closer to Dubai, so there's a lot of focus on Sharjah because of that. But definitely Ajman would be interesting to watch in the next 5 to 10 years.
Fibha Ahmed, Vice President of Sales at Dubai and Bayut. Coming in, 3 new reports out from these guys for Ras Al Khaimah, for Ajman and for Sharjah, having a look at how the property market has performed over 2024. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.